Hello. Welcome back. Welcome to this side of the room. Sorry if it looks a little weird. I don't know how to light this side yet. Welcome to the Ben 10 Addendum, where I take all of your comments, your feedback, your criticism, and I do a sort of retrospective reanalysis on the science of Ben 10's classic aliens. This video is a direct follow-up to my other Ben 10 video, so if you haven't given that a watch yet, or you just wanted a refresher, make sure you give that a watch at the link in the description below, or it will be linked in the card up top right there. Make sure you give that a watch, then come back here when you're done. Now, there were a lot of great points brought up in the comments, a lot of people that were a lot smarter than I am, providing some great feedback, as well as a, let's call it an enthusiastic response to a personal placement of one of the aliens. We'll get to him later. I know I keep harping on it, but seriously, thank you so much for the amazing support on all these videos. I would love to keep making some of these like post-mortem or just retrospective reanalysis videos. If you do have any questions, feedback, comments, concerns on any of the topics that I talk about, make sure you leave them in the comments below. Now, before we start, I just wanted to let you know that I now have a Ko-Fi, Ko-fi? So if you are in a financial situation where you have some disposable income and you would like to support the channel, that will be linked down below as well. Big disclaimer, donating or monetary support will never be required to enjoy my content. Again, never ever will be required to enjoy my content. This is simply just a way to help make these videos a little more often, a little more consistently, just supporting the channel a little bit extra, but again, it will never be a requirement. Y'all simply just being here, watching the videos, liking and subscribing, that will always be enough. Now, with that being said, let's get into it. So when it comes to our person-sized supersonic dinosaur, Accelerate, a lot of you have pointed out correctly so that I had forgotten to take into account the square cube law. Now, for those of you who don't know what that is or don't understand how it pertains to big lizard go fast, here is the gist. Basically, if we had a 1 foot by 1 foot cube that weighed 2 kilograms, to double its size to now be 2 by 2 feet, its mass would have to be cubed, now being 8 kilograms. In terms of biology and the tiger beetle, to properly scale it up to Accelerate, which is about 116 times in size, doing our math, assuming that the tiger beetles weigh about 0.5 grams, and I actually did our math right, they would have to weigh over 780 kilograms or 1,700 pounds. Not only would their legs most likely snap at the sheer weight of being that size, but that's not even taking into account the forces their muscles would have to exert to get moving, much less at the speeds that we see Accelerate going in the show. The tiger beetles at that size would have to put out a force over 142 times greater than a cheetah at 17,000 kilograms or 167,000 newtons of force. Another great point in the comments was that Accelerate is bipedal, which typically does not bode well for our theoretical speedsters. If you look at the fastest animals on Earth, all of them are typically quadrupeds, with their size and physiology being optimized for running. As once animals start reaching the size of about a cheetah, their muscles simply can't produce enough forces to get them moving at such ludicrous speeds. Putting all of that pressure and force on 2 legs, as this commenter points out, would severely limit the output of those forces as well. All in all, while on the surface Accelerate looks promising, with the forces exerted having to be comparable to commercial airliner jet engines, as well as the closest allegory for the Kinesilerans basically being immobile at those sizes, unfortunately it is gonna knock them down to C tier.
So basically, what I was thinking of was, oh fuck, I can't believe you've done this.
Another commenter pointed out that gray matter and the Galvin, being the sizes that they are, would be severely limited in their capacity for knowledge, especially at the degree we have seen in the show. While yes, as they point out, brain size is heavily correlated with the capacity for knowledge, doing a bit more research on how the brain develops and how quote-unquote smartness is procured, it does seem to be a bit more nuanced. Studies show that the pivotal product of our evolution is the cerebral cortex, making up about 80% of our brain mass. It's the hub for all things learning, thought, reasoning, and all other higher thinking functions. Its efficiency is less so reliant on the sheer size and more so reliant on the density and complexity of cell structures. Basically, the more folds you got, the smarter you're gonna be. Take a topographical map of my brain, smooth. A lot of factors play a role in this process, and a lot of it I don't really understand, to be honest with you. Neurobiology and brain development is super duper complicated, but there was a great paper that I came across that explains it way better than I ever could, so that is going to be linked down in the notes below. Especially since the Galvins have multiple brains, each specializing on different types of processing, they can have an entire structure dedicated to logic and higher thinking processes. But besides that, surely biologically, all of their other traits are pretty reasonable, as they can all be found in pre-existing amphibians. So for that, I think they're gonna keep their spot up in B tier.
Number 4, we got B.
Okay, now it's time for the one you've all been waiting for. Like literally 20% of the comment section was about this one in particular. That's almost as crazy as the 99.7% of you that aren't subscribed. Damn. It does really help though, so while you're here, why not subscribe and turn on those notifications so you can see whenever and whatever weird stuff I'll be posting next. Anyways, okay, now it's time to bring up the elephant, or the dog-bear hybrid in the room. TLDR, wildmutt is going in S tier.
Stand up now and face the sun. Won't hide my tail.
But for a more nuanced explanation, here's why. I want to specifically talk about a great point that a couple commenters brought up in convergent evolution, which is basically when two seemingly unrelated animals evolve into similar features, usually based on their environment or trying to solve a similar problem in the same way biologically. Basically, if you've ever seen that thing where like all animals are evolving into crabs, that's it. That's convergent evolution. Simply put, since Vulpin is a pitch black planet with toxic waste and noxious gases, it's not surprising that the Vulpimancers A, developed no eyes, and B, would have evolved with an insane sense of smell to be able to detect any hazardous materials. On top of that, solely comparing Vulpimancers to dogs was a bit of a blunder on my end, as a lot of prehistoric animals like the Amphicyons or bear dogs would be pretty close ancillaries to our orange-furred friends. So, to finally amend for my grave mistake, wildmutt will be going in S tier, and justice has finally been restored to the world. Now, I just wanted to point out a couple of things at the end here, not like criticisms or anything, just some cool theories and headcanons that you guys had, so here we go. First off, as this commenter points out, the tetramans being an insectoid species is actually a really cool theory and makes a bunch of sense. Their key traits like the 6 arms and 6 eyes are very insectoid in nature. Hello, editing Mike here. Yeah, wrap it up. Take my nerd card away. It's fine. I totally understand. I think when reading that person's comment when they said 6 appendages, because we were talking about forearms, I think I tried like wires cross or something like that. But no, take my nerd card away, rightfully so. I haven't even checked. It's somebody probably already got it. But yeah, that's all I wanted to correct. Back to the video. And I know we had just talked about the square cube law, but being able to lift things orders of magnitude more heavy than they are is pretty common amongst insect species. So good job, commenter. Very cool. As this person points out, the aliens being as big as they are was actually a huge shock for me as well. The leading theories on gigantism in animals usually ping-pongs between like oxygen-rich environments, environmental factors such as temperature, and just the general biodiversity, especially with like prehistoric animals and stuff like that. So as these are all aliens where they're the primary species on their planet, it could speak to why most of them are like starting NBA roster in size. This commenter asks how I did the hologram effects in the original video, which thank you so much for asking. I'm super proud of them. They're actually super simple, if not super duper janky. So let's move over and I'll show you how I did them. All right, here in Blender, it's actually pretty simple. Really all it is a little like half cylinder thing for the beam. You have the alien model, obviously, and then I roughly modeled the lip of the Omnitrix, which is just point tracked to the footage. I did have to manually adjust the shit out of it though, because I am bad at tracking. Really besides that, the node setup for the actual like emission shader is pretty simple. Let me see if I can find that. Where the hell is it? Oh, there it is. Okay. Yeah, if you look, it is just a couple of like noise textures mixed in with some Fresnels into, this one has a color ramp for the emission. When I look at this one for Heat Blast, I did it in 2 separate emission textures. Honestly, don't remember why. But yeah, this one just has a couple of other noise layers and stuff to make it a little more interesting since it's like the primary focus of the shot. But yeah, it's a pretty simple node setup. And then for the animation, it's just a couple of shape keyframes for the beam that goes up and down when like a new alien is selected or if it turns on and off. And then for the Heat Blast, it's actually even simpler, just a couple of scale keyframes. And yeah, you can see here, it just pops on, pops off at the same time. And then if you actually look, they don't ever go away. They're just kind of hiding under the lip of the Omnitrix. And I know it looks definitely wonky from this angle, but from the camera, it works. So I will take it. Now, back to the show. Now the question on everyone's mind, when is part 2? Look, I think part 2 would be a very interesting video, whether it was the add-on aliens like your Dittos, your Wildvines, your Blitzwolfers, the Alien Force, or the Omniverse playlists, or even a custom playlist created by you guys in the comments below. I think that would be a super interesting video for the future. For now, I do want to explore other things, other topics, other formats even, and really try out a bunch of different stuff for this channel. A couple of videos are in the works right now. Some are definitely bigger in scope than others, but I am hoping to put out these videos semi-consistently. So if you do want some more frequent updates and just to see what I'm working on, you could always follow me on my other socials, which will be linked down in the description below. So if you enjoy all the weird stuff that I have been posting, ready for the weirder stuff that I'm probably going to be putting out, hopefully you stick along for the ride. But that's it for me today. If you like these type of videos though, why not leave it a like? If you like me rambling, why not subscribe? It's free and you can change your mind whenever you like. But yeah, thank you for sticking around. It's always good to see you guys. Thank you so much for watching and have a good rest of your day. Peace. One more time, shall we?
Hey, I'm on fire. Cool. Not cool, not cool, not cool.
Hello, welcome to the post-vid video. Thank you for sticking around to the end, and hopefully you enjoyed. It was cool to see your guys' comments, see your guys' feedback, your takes on everything. Super cool. Thank you for commenting. Thank you for watching, as always. Now time for the shout out portion of this thing. As always, shout out to Buyan Mahoney. You know who you are. Thank you for making it happen. I do want to shout out all of the commenters that made this video possible, so my bad if I get your name wrong, but here we go. Shout out to Gabona Fold 9446, Duck Potate 9818, The Lonely Cloud 7435. This one's gonna be fun. Caio Sambanili de Souza 1763. That's the best I got. Shout out to Salder, shout out to Deftones, shout out to MM Studios 4538, Dusty 7084, CY8485, Dion 9781, Boxlord, yeah. Dumbozo _II, Ibaraki DX. Again, what are these usernames? Kumo KY Smashapa 2245. Again, that's definitely not right, but shout out to you regardless. Shout out to Shad W 4701, Abe _10, Kaiju Boy 2011, and finally shout out to Nathaniel Jones 8043. Shout out to you all for making this video possible. If you would like to be a part of these like post-mortem videos, make sure you're commenting down below so I can see them. I try my best to get to as many as possible. So yeah, definitely leave a comment below with your thoughts, takes, and opinions, and maybe you can end up in a mic video. Who would want to be in one of these things? But yeah, thank you for sticking around to the end, and thank you so much for watching. Don't have too much fun out there. You gotta be back here eventually. But until I see you next, stay safe, have a good rest of your day, and take care. Peace. I swear I can never get on a normal schedule with these. It's like 4 o'clock in the morning. I'm gonna go to bed. I'm tired. Don't be like me. Get your 8 hours, people. Oh.